That's why that border is so understandably left open, not by just Obama, but if you go all the way back 20, 25 years, no president has moved to secure that border. And we shouldn't be naive to think that there's some little excuse as to why that's happening, because there's drug cartels in Mexico that are, in fact, ready to ship their products right into our country. And when our president, all the past presidents, have left that border open and make no effort to control what's coming into our country and into our cities and into the lives of our young people, he's working against the American people. Worse, he has brought the president of Mexico into the White House and said, you have to agree that the state of Mexico is in error for wanting to protect their state and their people, which is constitutionally what they're required to do. So Obama has stepped over his bounds there. He's even taken Arizona to the United Nations, to the Human Rights Council, complaining about the human rights violations that supposedly Arizona has committed, which their lawsuit doesn't even address. So that's one of those situations. I'm going to wrap this up a little bit. I realize I'm going too long here, but John McCain, let's talk about John McCain, and I'm not just picking on Republicans, but I want you to know the truth. Obama has a stimulus plan, and the Republicans are right now denigrating that as having been not effective. John McCain, when the stimulus plan was being formulated, presented an amendment because it had been passed, the stimulus plan had been passed in the House, and it was to be reviewed by the Senate and then passed again. McCain presented an amendment to eradicate or strike out the Buy American clause in that stimulus plan. And that Buy American clause was supported in the vote. It failed in the vote, but it was supported by none other than Senator Bond, who is right now talking about the China hub at the airport here in St. Louis. So Senator Bond said, yeah, we don't want any Buy American clause in the stimulus plan. That was a controversial issue, and it was remedied by the president getting together with the Senate, and they decided to phrase it this way. We can have a Buy American clause which says products have to be made in this country if they're to be used, if they're to get stimulus money. But if that in any way violates our trade agreements, which the people in Geneva would immediately address, then we will bypass the Buy American clause. So we have taxpayer money funding a program that hardly allows Buy American. You remember John McCain also pushed a amnesty bill, amnesty for illegal aliens, although in this last election, the Senate election, he denied being in that frame of mind anymore. He has had a change of heart. But still in all, he did, it's on the record, there was a proposal, and I just want you to know that the co-sponsors of McCain's amnesty bill, comprehensive immigration reform, co-sponsors were Ted Kennedy, a Democrat, Republicans working well with Democrats, and the other Democrat on that bill who became his campaign opponent in 2008 is Barack Obama. So Obama and McCain were good friends back in '06 when McCain was talking about amnesty, and Republicans and Democrats, as you can see, have had no trouble working together on issues of import. Ladies and gentlemen, we praise our soldiers for going out and fighting for freedom overseas. I want you to think seriously, how can we honor them and then dishonor them by buying products made in communist China, a totalitarian state that is freedomless, that allows their citizens very little freedom, and basically is top-down control. We're the hallmark of freedom. Yet, as I mentioned, we're dependent on products from a country that doesn't even recognize freedom. That is wrong, and the Democrat and Republicans in our Congress have done this. We talked about the 4th of July. We talked about Bush and the borders. We've had open borders with President Bush, open borders with President Obama. President Bush jailed 2 Border Patrol men for what? For trying to stop a drug runner, smuggler, from coming into the country with a load of contraband. They shot at him, and I won't tell you where they hit him, but it wasn't lethal. And they were put in jail. and they have since been convicted, and they served their term, and before Bush left office, he pardoned them in terms of their jail sentence, but he did not remove the conviction. Obama has renewed the Patriot Act. He said he was going to create a change, but instead he's carried the ball for Bush. And all this talk about not reading bills in Congress, I want to tell you, all it takes is for whoever is in the minority to say, we're not going to play ball if we can't read the bills. We're going to step aside and tell the American people that they deserve better than that, and until the opposing party recognizes the error of their ways and gives us time to read these bills, now 2,700 pages, whatever, we're not going to play ball. And that would solve the problem. But instead, when they know the outcome of the vote is already in hand, and they say, well, we're going to vote no, all they're doing is saying we're going to allow the process to proceed, the unread bills to pass, and so be it. That is totally unconstitutional from the essence of what Congress is supposed to be doing. Okay, last thing is, Democrats admire socialists. I think that's a given. There's a lot of indication that that's true. What's not being said is that Republicans partner with communists. Is there really any difference? Both support global government. So don't keep wasting your vote, folks. Think about what's happening to our country and hold people accountable. Your votes have merit. You have principles to stand on. We have a Constitution to uphold. So vote not for parties. Please, I ask you at this time, in this moment tonight, to think about, let's vote for our country. Thank you.